Trump tariffs are officially in, and many of you are probably wondering how much more is it going to cost to simply live in the US? I'll answer that question, and I'll also break things down in a way that'll make sense for everyone. We'll talk about how markets reacted, what this all means for you and me, and we'll talk about what might lie ahead of us. And if you're also wondering how all of this affects crypto, don't worry, we'll dive into that as well. In a nutshell, Trump announced that 10% tariffs would be applied to everything coming into the US from every other country. What gets ugly, however, is that a handful of tariffs against specific countries were revealed, and they were a lot higher than we expected. 34% against China, 20% against Europe, and 24% against Japan, just to name a few. And who's going to experience the most pain? You and me. Yale Budget Lab estimates that you and I will end up spending anywhere from $27,000 to $3,400 additionally every year. And during this announcement, both crypto and the stock market were as volatile as you'd expect them to be. We're definitely expecting a trade war now, and the stock market tumbled to reflect this. Bitcoin spiked at the beginning of this announcement, but funnily enough, the moment Trump turned around his board of tariffs, everything crashed rapidly. Another interesting piece of data to note is that Goldman Sachs slashed its projections for the stock market, expecting things to dip further before they rebound. And while this is obvious, if you and I are spending anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5K every year just to live, that's money that's not going into investments like stocks or crypto. Instead, we'll be spending that money on necessities like eggs and cars. Now, one of the most important takeaways is that if you're an investor or if you're still around ready to invest, there might be some life-changing months ahead of us. These are the moments, these are the opportunities in which the most successful investors are quietly waiting for. I write a weekly crypto newsletter, and I also host a podcast where I break down everything happening in the markets, always in a way that anyone can understand. I'll catch you in the next one.